Hello, love, golden light, and pure emptiness to you and all of your loved ones. Today's message is going to be challenging but very empowering for women, and it's going to be challenging for men. Real quick here, I want to show you the first 6 cards of the major arcana of the tarot deck. Okay, 0, you have the Fool. Think of the beginning of the major arcana as the players in the game. Then you have the Red Magician, which is a man. Number 2, you have the blue female High Priestess with pillars behind her, and she's blue, as I said, okay? Then you have 3, the Empress, 4, the Emperor, and here's where the journey starts, the soul's journey. Number 5. Now look at how there's a blue and there's a red that well, it looks like a man and a man, but it's really the male and the female here, the red and the blue here. Okay? And what it is it's that moment where we're going to incarnate on Earth. And see, there's pillars too, just like the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is a woman, and women are more spiritually connected, and then the pillars represents the connection to the other worlds. Now, the pillars here are the other worlds. Now, they're making their contracts with the Hierophant, then he's going to move aside, and then they're going to go through, and then they're going to manifest on Earth or wherever they are. And then number 6, there you are. The male, female have manifested on Earth or a planet. And then that shows you that those 2 people are these 2 people that are on Earth. Okay, so the reason I showed you that is because, in essence, what that's saying is that we were, and we can go into other subjects, but we won't because it takes too long. So we were perfectly male-female, and then we separated as we manifested on Earth, and that's where you have the whole twin soul thing. Or no, twin flame, where there's someone that's your other half, soul other half, on Earth or somewhere, I guess, maybe on another planet or something. And then people talk about my soulmate and twin flame and all of that. And so the reason I brought that up is because it just shows that ultimately we are not male or female, and forget the whole physical manifestation. Just think of it on a soul energetic level. We get way too fixated on physical things, of course, because of Newtonian materialism. So forget the fact that you're a woman or a man, okay? Ideally, you're here to try to learn to be both, okay? And in alchemy, you have pictures of hermaphrodites, because that's what you're trying to become spiritually, a hermaphrodite, half male, half female energy. So we're way too fixated on gender, and I'm a man, so I need to do this sort of thing, or I'm a woman, so I need to do this sort of thing. That's just going to delude you and cause major problems for your soul's journey. Ideally, you're going to be both, and you're trying to merge both, okay? So generally speaking, well, first of all, we all know some men are more like women and some women are more like men, but it doesn't matter. We're just trying to balance both energies. If you're a man that's typically a man type, then you need to find some more quote-unquote women energy and incorporate that in your soul. And if you're a typical woman, you're going to have to incorporate some more male energy, okay? I don't know, independence, strength, whatever. It's just, we can talk on and on, but generally speaking, women energy would be more cooperative and harmonious, empathic to the energies around. That's why more understanding, etc. Sweeter. And the man would be more of an independent, aggressive, adventurous, that sort of thing. You guys understand already that stuff. But so the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I think that women are very misled, and we obviously live in a sexist society. Even the religions are sexist. Um, Even Buddhism is very sexist. Um, it's interesting that the oldest records of shamans, supposedly there were more women shamans, and then Buddhism like stamped all of that out, and we're actually shut all of that down, even killed people, I think. And that has to do with politics and the kings and all that. So it's not necessarily a judgment of just Buddhism. It has to do with just everything. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because people don't realize that. Okay, so back to women. We are in a sexist society, and so your definitions of who you are as a woman were created by a sexist society that is also pretty oppressive. So think of all of the stories you've been told, myth, movies, songs. You're only as empowered or disempowered as the stories that you believe. And this is true with everything. So all the stories of the knight in shining armor, damsel in distress, you know, on and on and on. I mean, even just, giving little girls dolls, you know, to take care of, and that's your family, that's, you're going to grow up one day and have a family. There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff in itself, but it's just, you see a bigger picture being painted here, that you need a man to feel complete, to feel whole. And like I said, one of our soul's journeys mission is to learn to incorporate both of those energies within this one soul, or maybe half of a soul. But regardless, that is what your soul is supposed to do in one sense, is learn to go beyond gender. The highest the higher souls or beings often talk about, like enlightened beings or even enlightened humans. And whenever like channels talk, have spirits or archangels or extraterrestrials speak through them, they often talk about not having any gender. They're beyond gender. And so that's something that I think is important for both men and women. And lastly, I want to end by saying, in Taoism, women are spiritually stronger, emotionally, mentally stronger, and no one's going to believe this, physically stronger according to Taoism. What do I mean? It's not about muscles, okay? Physically stronger. Sure, men are physically, their body is physically stronger as far as muscles and what they can lift. But they say that like if a woman and a man was cut in the same place, the woman would heal faster. And of course, the most powerful thing physically that any human can do is create another living being, another human. So to just hurry this up, I think a big part of this, honestly, and this is a trip to men, but men are actually very, very jealous of women because we are all striving to become the creator, right? And of course, the creator is neither male or female, but if you had to pick, you'd have to say the creator was a feminine energy because it's creating, right? Mother Earth. I don't think Mother Earth is a female energy necessarily either. It's just that it's always creating. We call it Mother Earth. They're beyond all that, So giving birth it's a reflection of being the creator. the most awesome human reflection of that. And then I will combine all of this by saying, why is it that men that are spiritual always wear robes, dresses? Men never wear dresses. I mean, aside from a kilt, but a long dress, men never wear dresses unless they're spiritual, the spiritual leaders. And strangely, the women aren't allowed to be spiritual leaders. Women are, and like I said, in the tarot, it's even in there. The woman is the spiritual being. That's why the pillars and the veil are there. And you don't repress anything or anyone unless you feel that they are a threat. So if women were really the weaker sex, then men wouldn't have to do anything. But it's obvious that they work very, very hard in suppressing, oppressing, repressing women in many ways that we cannot even understand, like images, stories, glass ceilings in businesses. There's just ridiculous amounts of evidence. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so I mean, that's basically it. I was going to give you more examples, but the woman is, oh, I know, one thing that's pretty important. If you look at the oldest city ruins, when I say city, I'm talking like 20,000 years ago, or more, they found no walls, no weapons, and no mass graves. In other words, they had no war. They also worshipped a divine feminine statues. Like they found those little statues, at least, that were divine feminine statues, sometimes pregnant. And so that's where we're going. Once we have, right now we have the whole story now, as far as God to us in the Western world, which has taken over the world, is Jesus by himself. In ancient Egypt, you had Osiris and Isis. They ruled together. So we're going back to that, where we're going to have a man and a woman, and the woman's going to have the final say, ultimately. And it will help the world. I hear that Egyptian statues that are of the Old Kingdom, the woman is putting her hand around the man, showing that she's the leader, ultimately. Not because, she's better or anything, it's just women energy is a more cooperative energy and not a competitive energy. And so that's why it's just smart to have the woman have the final say. Not the type of women that exist today, so sorry to say. Women today have to be in their natural woman power to be really in that place and to have the love and the heart and the compassion. So, don't just think you should go around punking men now, because that's just a revenge tactic, which is actually what you see nowadays, like in music and stuff. And now the women lashing out, sexually, and getting men back, and that's totally not right. It's just it just goes back and forth. In the 50s, men beat women, and now, women cheat on their husbands, and I mean, like that, and talk mess about their husbands and stuff. That's just going back and forth. That's never going to do anything, obviously. So the woman has to have balance, has to know who she is, and that's the first step. You have to know who you are aside from this society, and find out who you are within as a woman and as a soul in general. All right, see ya. 1444.